this tutorial, we will learn how to display more than one form to the users of our programs. I will continue with the project that I saved in the previous tutorial. I still have the previous project open. Let's quickly look at it and refresh our memories. Here in the project manager, we see that the name of the project is Exploring Forms. The name of the unit is frm_main_u.pass. We also have this aqua blue form with the caption that reads Exploring Forms. The name of the form is frm_main and the form belongs to a unit called frm_main_u.pass. The form's dimensions were also changed to 600 for the width and 400 for the height. When we run the application, we see that the form starts up in the center of the screen. That is because we also changed the position property to PO Screen Center. When I click the close button of the form, I'm taken back into design time. To view the code that Delphi generated for this form, I click on the Code tab. In the code, we see that the class is created called tFrmMain and it is based on a class called tForm. Further down, our form named frmMain is instantiated into an object from the class that was declared above. Now, let's add another form to the project. Right-click the project in the project manager. In the context menu, point to Add New. In the sub-menu, click Form. You just added the second form to this project. Here we see that the form belongs to a new unit with the default name Unit 1. We can use these tabs to toggle from one form to another to display them. Now let's rename this unit file. Right-click unit1.pass, click Rename, and rename the unit file to frm_another_u.pass and press Enter. We must also change the name of the new form. Scroll to the name property in the Object Inspector and select it. Change the name to frm_another and press Enter. Scroll to the caption property and change it to Another Form. Okay, our new form is created and our project has two forms now. So now you know how to add additional forms and you can add many more forms to your projects this way. Let's run our application to see how our users will view this form. Click the Run button. The form that we created first starts up. That is the default behavior of a VCL Forms application. The form that was first added to your project will be the startup form. To display the new form, I'm going to add a button to the aqua blue form, and when the user clicks on it, the other form must also show. Close the form to return to design time. The blue form will have a button that will display the gray form. So click this tab to display frmMain. In the tool palette, open the Standard tab. Select a component called tButton. Move your mouse pointer to the form and click here in the corner. A button object is now dropped on your form. In a future lesson, I will explain buttons in more detail. But to complete this tutorial, I'm just going to point out a few things. As you can see here, the button has handles, so it is currently selected. While it is selected, let's change a few properties for the button. Scroll to the name property and change it to btn show another. btn is the 3-letter prefix for a button. The name displays on the button, but that is not how you want your users to see it. Scroll to the caption property and change it to Show Another Form. The new caption displays on the button now, but it is too long for this button, so let's fix that. Drag the handle on the side of the button to change the width until you can see the whole caption. Okay, now we are ready to instruct this button to display the form called frm_another, and that must happen when the user clicks on it. The default action or event that is triggered by a button is called onClick. I will explain events in more detail in future lessons, but what you should know now is that we must write code for the onClick event of this button to display the new form. To create the procedure for the button's onClick event, you double-click on the button. Here we see that Delphi created a new procedure for the onClick event of a button called btn show another. The procedure opens with a begin statement and it closes with an end statement. You must write the code logic to show the second form between the begin and the end statements. Now, let's write the code to show the second form. Go to the blank line between the begin and end statements. The form that we want to show is called frm another. So let's type frm another in the blank line. When you type a name of something and Delphi doesn't recognize the name, Delphi will display a red line under that name. If you hover over the name, you can see what the problem is. In this case, Delphi tells us undeclared identifier frm another. That means that a form named frm another doesn't exist according to Delphi's compiler. But we know it does. The reason why Delphi's compiler doesn't recognize the form is because it is not part of this unit. Just remove the code that you typed. The form that we want to show is part of another unit called frm another underscore u. But we are working inside frm main underscore u. If you want the unit that you are working in to recognize a form of another unit, you must instruct the unit that you are working in to use the other unit. And you do it here under the user statement. This statement tells the compiler that the unit called frm main underscore u uses all these units created by the Delphi developers, as well as any other units that you add. So here in the back, I will add the name of the unit that I want to be referenced. Append the name of the unit called frm another underscore u before the semicolon. Now let's go back to the procedure and type the form's name again. Here, between begin and end, type frm another, followed by a dot, followed by show. To tell the compiler that we are finished with this instruction, we end the line with a semicolon. As you can see, Delphi doesn't report the error again. That is because it now recognizes the form that belongs to the other unit. This instruction tells the compiler to show an instance of a form called frm another. And all of this will happen when the user triggers btn show anothers on click event. Run your application. The main form starts up. Now click the button to show another form. And now you see the second form on the screen. You can now use the same steps to display more forms if you want. Close both forms and click the Save All button to save your work. Note that the dialog window appears to save the new unit, and click Save. In the next video I will continue with this project. You will learn about the events that are triggered for forms. I'll talk to you again in the next video.